From world events to Washington and New York City, here's your concise world update for Monday, February 16th. The U.S. military is preparing for the possibility of sustained operations lasting weeks against Iran if President Donald Trump orders a strike, a scenario that could mark a far more serious confrontation than prior flare-ups between the two countries. Members of President Donald Trump's Board of Peace have pledged more than $5 billion in aid for Gaza. Zelensky said Sunday that Ukraine has secured new energy and military support packages from European allies as the country prepares to mark the 4th anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24th. Relatives of Venezuelan political prisoners began a hunger strike on Saturday to press for the release of their loved ones as lawmakers debate an amnesty law that could free dissidents jailed under President Nicolas Maduro's rule. New renderings released Friday provide the most detailed glimpse yet of President Donald Trump's proposed White House ballroom, a sweeping expansion moving forward despite legal challenges and scrutiny on Capitol Hill. A glove recovered about 2 miles from the Tucson home of Today's Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother appears to match one worn by a masked individual seen outside the residence the night she disappeared. Federal immigration authorities intend to spend $38.3 billion to expand detention capacity to 92,600 beds. For new crew members, including 2 Americans, were warmly welcomed aboard the International Space Station on Saturday after successfully docking in orbit. There were no signs of a breakthrough Sunday as lawmakers in the White House remained locked in a standoff over oversight of federal immigration officers, a dispute that has halted funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Senate Republicans picked up a pivotal backer in their push to codify voter ID requirements into federal law, though her support comes with limits. The White House and Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. are reshuffling the leadership of the Department of Health and Human Services ahead of the midterm elections, removing several senior deputies and promoting others in an effort to steady an agency roiled by internal disputes and controversial messaging. President Donald Trump appeared to expect that his endorsement of a local prosecutor in the race to succeed U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene would quickly clear the Republican field. Instead, more than a dozen GOP contenders remain in the race, turning this deeply conservative pocket of Georgia into an early test of Trump's grip on the Make America Great Again movement in an election year. New York City Council Speaker Julie Menend's proposal to sharply restrict protests within 100 feet of houses of worship is drawing pushback, including from the city's top cop, over concerns that the language may be too rigid. $30 million in federal funding has finally reached the Gateway Development Commission, temporarily breaking a nearly 5-month logjam under the Trump administration that had stalled financing for the Hudson River Tunnel project. Alternate side parking has been suspended citywide for 3 weeks after nearly a foot of snow blanketed the 5 boroughs. Motorists who've needed their cars have had to dig them out, but countless vehicles remain sealed in ice along curbs across the city. A New Jersey man is proving he has plenty of good humor after building an ice cream truck made almost entirely of snow. All the proceeds from his ice cream sales go to the Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation in Mountainside. All 3 major indexes finished a week lower. Technology shares have swung sharply in recent sessions as investors weigh how AI competition could pressure profits and the heavy capital spending required to stay competitive. U.S. consumer prices rose less than expected in January, helped by lower gasoline costs and easing rental inflation. But higher prices for services signal that inflation remains sticky enough to give the Federal Reserve little incentive to cut interest rates before summer. From the Middle East to Wall Street, you're up to date.